Hey, how's it going everybody? Zuko here, and once again we're here to talk about WonFes and WonHobby, the season of new anime figure announcements. As always, we're going to be breaking this up into at least 2 videos, with today's focusing on WonHobby. So everything that Good Small Company and their partners had to show off on their gallery page. In the next video, we'll be focusing on WonFes and all the figures at that event, so be sure not to miss that. But before we start, I just want to say that I'm actually recording this part of the video after everything else. I got a little sick during this video. You might not be able to tell, but just in case I sound a little different or something, that's why. Anyway, let's get started. So if you didn't know, the way they order these figures is actually by region. Depending on which region you choose, they'll actually swap the figures around and push the ones they think you'll be interested in the most, right? So if you were to choose Japanese, you'll get a bunch of Hololive figures first. However, if you chose English, like I did obviously, then they're gonna push the Ouran High School Host Club Nendoroids first, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how relevant this series is today, considering it's pretty old at this point, but it's nice to see. They're making Nendoroids for Tamaki, Kyoya, and Haruhi. Only a prototype for Tamaki is available for us right now. But, you know, I like seeing things from the past. I've not thought about this show in a very long time. But it's interesting for them to choose this as, like, the front runner. This is the first thing you see on the gallery. I just thought that was kind of interesting to point out. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Samurai Champloo's Mugen is getting a Nendoroid. I believe this was announced at an earlier WonFest, though he's already painted. He already looks pretty good. And this is just nostalgic, right? Anybody who grew up with Adult Swim is probably gonna, you know, see this and feel some sort of, you know, joyful emotion, right? I hope they make Jin. I hope they make Fu. They probably will, considering I would expect this to sell decently well at the very least. But, yeah, looks great. It's nice that Guts is actually getting more figures, especially more affordable figures. This little cutesy baby Guts is funny. I don't think it's fitting at all, but there's absolutely a place for it in this world, right? And he looks nice. I'm glad Good Small Company didn't hand this off to a lesser company to make this. I don't want to throw shade yet in this video, but you know what I mean. Some companies just make better Nendoroids than others, and you know, Good Small Company is handling this one, and he looks solid so far. Alucard from the Hellsing OVA. This is another one that's a little ill-fitting like Guts, but it works. It looks like him, and I mean, Hellsing is a bit of a classic, right? I think everybody should go watch the OVA if you haven't. Definitely holds up, though I haven't seen it in a while, so maybe that's a false statement, but I'm pretty sure it's not. However, I like that they revisit these classic series every now and then, so I think it's cool. I know a lot of us are iffy on the pop-up parade line, but this is a great use of the XL line, the Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann XL. So they're not making it small, they're making it huge, and the pose is sick. If they actually paint this guy nicely, I think this one is something to look out for. I'm a little worried how they handle the flames behind him. Not sure how they're gonna handle those effects, but I think it's promising. I definitely think this one is promising. And this is such a great companion piece, the Simon Young Man version. Like, the pose is very similar because it's supposed to be, but it's very energetic, it's very lively. It feels much more expressive than a typical pop-up parade. Just the way he's like arched back and screaming at the top of his lungs. Just feels like they really cared about this series when making this specific pop-up parade. And it does kind of sting that it's small and it's not even an L, but it's supposed to scale a little bit with the XL, and I'll put a picture of that on screen because I know I've seen it on Twitter the past day or so, and it looks great together, so buying both of them just makes a lot of sense, right? Viral looks great too, and he's in the pose that you would expect him to be. I think they're doing a pretty dang good job with this line so far. It just kind of sucks that they don't scale with the panty and stocking figures from the last WonFest. Those were large, and these are gonna be small. So that's a bit of a bummer if you want to like make a Gynax shelf or whatever, but it is what it is, I suppose. Still looks good. Chisei from the Ancient Magus Bride, as well as Elias, are getting Season 2 Nendoroids, or the re-releases, I'm not exactly sure, but I know this guy was worth a hell of a lot of money on the aftermarket, so it's a win either way if you were looking for this guy. Not really sure how expensive Chisei got, but the more the merrier, right? I think that's a win overall. Dude, I can't believe we're getting Bobobo Nendoroids in 2023. That's just amazing. I loved this show as a kid or a teenager. I don't remember how old I was, okay? That was a long time ago on Toonami. But either way, it's only Bobobo so far. No Don Patch, no Jelly Jiggler. I don't remember what his Japanese name is because I've really only watched it dubbed, but I still loved it. I think this would make more sense as a Figma, honestly, but I think when I see him, I'm probably just going to get him, unless he's like super overpriced, but I hope they go a bit wacky with the accessories, considering like, I don't know, I guess anything can come out of his afro, right? So I think there's a lot of potential for fun, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Was there really no Kaori Nendoroid from Your Lie in April? That is just mental. Like, I can't believe it took this long for that to happen. I do recall seeing this announcement before, but just seeing the sculpt is making it feel more real. So I guess I'm back on the element of surprise, right? Yeah, just, I don't know, something that should have existed and probably exciting for a lot of people. Man, it's such a bummer that the scale for Mio is just not at this event at all. We did get her Figma, and it looks nice. It's very cute, but I'm just not really interested in this version of her. I really do want to see her scale. Last week, I said I was on Chapter 3 of this game. I finally started it. Now I'm on Chapter 7. I've been playing the hell out of that game while I could. And I did not expect to like Mio as much as I do, but my god, she kind of stole my heart. So I'm going to be buying that. Absolutely. I mean, if this turns out really nice, maybe I'll buy it too. But right now, I'm a little disappointed, but I'm kind of taking out my anger on the wrong thing, because like this is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. I think it looks really good, but I just want something else. We got an update for Nendoroid Ronnie. She's looking pretty cute. I like how they did her second face. I don't remember the lore behind that. I don't know if they ever even talk about it, actually, but the translucent plastic is a nice, I guess, attempt at making this look convincing. Probably very hard to get this aspect of the character design down, so I'll give them credit, right? Not really an easy thing to approach. But yeah, I'm sad there's no Alexander, but what can you do? Master Chief is getting a Nendoroid. You know, better late than never. I feel like this should have existed around 8 years ago or so, but it is nice to finally see him. There's a lot of sculpting detail in his suit to appreciate. I like that. And I bet this guy will look great because they won't mess up his face because they can't mess up his face. So I like it. Kiriko from Overwatch 2. Now, is this just headed straight to the bargain bin, considering all the Overwatch Nendoroids do? I mean, that's kind of mean to say, but it's also true. It really does feel like there's no reason to pre-order these because they make way too many. But she's the newest character. I guess they had to make her, but I can't really show enthusiasm for it, knowing the future fate of this figure. Alright, next up is Diablo 3's Demon Hunter. We're getting a Nendoroid for her. Very cool. Don't know much about her, though. Ghostwire Tokyo's Akito Izuki. I forgot this was even a game. I'm surprised they're making a Nendoroid for it. But, I guess that's cool. Oh shit, they're making Tails. He looks really cute. He kind of looks perfect, actually. Maybe even a little bit better than Sonic's Nendoroid. Though that one is a bit old. It's definitely showing its age, so maybe it needs an update. But, yeah, I think we're also getting Knuckles, which is, even cooler. Knuckles is the fucking best, so I might buy this one. I don't know if I'll buy Tails. I don't have the Sonic one either, but, Knuckles is gonna tempt me for sure. So this is a bit of a spoiler for the next video, but holy shit, there are so many Bridget figures at these two events. The first one is the Pop-Up Parade version of Bridget, and it's nice to have a budget option. Though, I don't think anybody else is saying this, but I really don't like her face. I just don't really feel like it looks like her. I think everything else looks fine from the colors to the sculpt, but there's just something about like her eyelashes and her lips that just, I don't know, they don't make me think of Guilty Gear, so I'm a little bit bothered by this one. But for 40 bucks, could be worse. And there you go, we're also getting a Nendoroid for Bridget as well. Probably gonna look a lot better, if you ask me, and not be too much more money. Actually, that's a lie. A lot of the Guilty Gear Nendoroids are like 80 bucks for some reason. So expect to spend a lot of money on this, but it'll probably look very cute. It was so weird how they made a Nendoroid for Basil from Omori first before Omori, but you know, I haven't played the game yet. Maybe that character is more important than him, but nice to see that they're rectifying that. And I hope there's more to come in the future. Maybe they'll convince me to finally start this game. Undertale's Toriel and the Human. They both look really good. I like the Human's face. It works really well. this like blank expression. I don't know, it just looks kind of perfect. And there's Flowey, that sweet son of a bitch. But Toria looks great. She looks really cute. I think they're improving these over time. I think the Undertale Nendoroids are looking better as each one comes out. So thumbs up for me. Nendoroid 6 from Little Nightmares, a perfect character to make into a Nendoroid. Now, this series is getting a lot of figures lately, most notably the Gecko minifigures. They look really good, but I can understand wanting this one more if you're just into Nendoroids in general. Definitely going to be a bit cuter, though I'm not sure if she's even going to have other faceplates, considering you can barely see this one, and her face isn't really an important feature of the game, I'm pretty sure, so yeah, I wouldn't really bank on that. But I still like how it's turning out. I think this is still visually striking for a little Nendoroid because of the big raincoat and the shadows that are cast on her face. It just looks good. It just looks like a really nice little Nendoroid. Modius was finally painted, and she looks adorable. I love these hearts that are just kind of stuck on her head. I know the idea is that they're floating around, but they really do look like they're stuck on her hair, but it still looks good. I think it's a decent way to get the emotion across to the consumer, right? And her face is amazing. I really like this one. I don't have any of the other Helltaker Nendoroids just because they're a little overpriced for my personal liking, but I think they're all really good sculpts, so maybe one day I'll be tempted. I don't know how I didn't see this one coming. They're making Boyfriend from Friday Night Funkin'. It makes perfect sense why they would. This is so popular. But just seeing this Newgrounds-ass character design on Good Smile Company is really funny to me. I just think this is funny. But it looks perfect. It looks really good. It's still stylized like the game. I hope they make Girlfriend, because I like Girlfriend. It's a really cute character design. I'm sure they will. They have to. But yeah, this is just, I don't know, caught me off guard really hard. But I think it's one of the better ones we've seen today just because like the style is so on point. Natsuki from Doki Doki Literature Club got painted. I think they're making all the girls at this point. So Natsuki is the next in line. She looks really cute. Unfortunately, the internet ruined this game for me, so I have nothing to say about it. I ain't playing it. I already know everything that happens, so I don't have that connection that some of you guys do. But they're also making a pop-up parade for Monica, and it looks nice. I think her Nendoroid is a bit more special though, so I would still probably go with that one if I were to choose one over the other, but at least this one is more proportionally accurate, right? Scale figure for Chun-Li. I'm liking the Street Fighter representation lately. I don't think there was any other shown yet from Street Fighter, but we did see a few in the last couple of events. But this one's a proper scale, and it's nice just because her face looks lovely on this figure. And I like the way she's crossing her legs. A bit of emphasis on her, massive thighs is something to appreciate, right? Not exactly sure what she's sitting on, just some rock or building or something. I don't know, doesn't really matter. I'm excited to see how this one turns out. If like Good Smile Company is going to put in their A game to make Street Fighter figures, I think that's pretty exciting. Joker from Persona 5 is getting a Nendoroid doll. Not too exciting for me, but cool nonetheless. And there's also a Kasumi Nendoroid, normal Nendoroid of the Phantom Thief version. Very cute. Shion from Tales of Arise is getting something. I assume it's a Nendoroid, but the image says Pop-Up Parade. And Good Smile Art Shanghai is down here, despite them not being up here. I'm just going to assume this is the wrong image, and we're getting a Nendoroid. But I guess who knows. Mikan is getting a Pop-Up Parade from Danganronpa, and it looks pretty good. Face looks nice, pose is alright. Would have been funny if she was like fallen down, but I don't know if they've made Pop-Up Parades like that. I can't really recall too many Pop-Up Parades that are like sitting down or laying down, so I'm not even sure if they do that. But, for a cheap option, and considering this character has nothing else, pretty good. Cyberpunk Edge Runners got a lot of love at this event. A bunch of pop-up parades, of course. David and Lucy's look pretty good. Nothing too spectacular, but fine nonetheless. And then they're also making Rebecca, who's my favorite. Again, nothing too special, though I did notice something about this one. The figure at the event itself at WonFes is actually different than this one, a little bit. If you look at the eyes, she's looking straight forward, right? But at the event, she's looking up. And I don't know which one is going to be the normal version of this, the actual version of it. Maybe there's two. I don't know. I kind of like the way her face looks here more, but it might just be the angles. It might just be the quality of the photos, but maybe I'll get it. I don't know. I really like her. But your options so far are resin figures or statues and then these. So I guess take your pick. And we also got updates on the Nendoroids that we knew about. Lucy and David, I think they both look a little bit better just because, I don't know, their faces, like the canvas for expressing emotions, are much larger on Nendoroids. So when they're already not going to be super detailed anyway, I just kind of prefer this style, if that makes sense. But to no surprise of anybody, they're also making Rebecca. They just know she's a fan favorite. And I thank them for doing this. Maybe this will be the one I buy. I have a little bit more faith in this than the pop-up praise that we just saw. Just because, I don't know, they're more my style, I guess. Alright, well, I hope you like HoloLive because we're about to talk about them for about, 20 figures or so. A lot of figures at this event, and even some at WonFes itself. They had a pretty big presence this time around. So let's go through these a little quickly if we can. First up is the Figma of Mori, painted and is looking really nice. The black matte against the shiny gold is just a nice look. The pink hair also just kind of contrasts with everything else that's going on, and the scythe is pretty cool, even though it's kind of, hidden in the shadows and whatnot of this dark photo. Figma Laplace Darkness, a character I'm not very familiar with, but little demon girl with oversized sleeves is cute. I should probably learn more about this character, so maybe I would want this. Cute face, and I like the bird. Figma Gaur Gura. This is like the perfect expression and pose to show off the Figma. It's simple, but it gets the personality across, and I think that's pretty important in the early phases of a figure, you know what I'm saying? Papa Parade Mori, very similar to the Figma, but I think the Figma had a slightly nicer expression. But Figmas are like $100 now, so pick your poison. This still looks fine. Nice color scheme, good amount of details for like $40 to $50. Laplace Darkness is also getting a pop-up parade, but, in this instance, I think the face looks way better on the Figma. I don't know what happened here. Again, not super familiar with this character, but if I can go back, I just think she looks way cuter here than in the version that I'm looking at right here. I mean, the sculpt is fine. I think her outfit blends to a nice figure, but I just don't like this face at the moment. IMA's pop-up parade, though, is probably the best of the three so far. I really like this one. Her face is really cute, and this hand pose that she's doing is adorable. Colors are really nice, and I like Oni Girl, so kind of just like a full package for me. Really not bad. Like this one a lot. Shion's pop-up parade looks really nice too when it's not even painted, but I think the pose is fun and the expression is nice. It's a little arrogant, a little smug, but it works really well with the way she's posed up. I think it's adorable. I think this one is turning out really good. Alright, Nendoroid Amelia is fully painted. I do like her outfit, her character design quite a bit, but there's something about her face that's just slightly off and I can't tell what it is. I cannot describe it, but it's not that it's bad. It just looks a little bit off from what I would expect this to look like, but it still looks like her, so I might just be crazy. Watame is so perfect. This is adorable. This one came out perfectly. I got nothing else to say about this. This looks spot on. Botan was painted. I think she looks great too. I like her fluffy hair sculpt. There is also Lammy. Love the colors on this one, though her hair looks a little rough. Her eyes are amazing though. I love this color against her light blue hair. But yeah, there's just something about the sculpt that looks a little bit rough, but that could totally be fixed in due time. Also, her arm looks gigantic, but I don't know if that's just the perspective of the photo or something, but it looks a little funny to me. Here we have Aki Rosenthal. I am not familiar with her, but here's her prototype if you're interested. There is also Amane Kanata, who is adorable. Not painted yet, but a nice looking prototype so far. Laplace Darkness. She's like the real winner of this event, I guess. I think that's 3 figures so far. Very cute, though, so far, because they showed a better expression with the Figma. I like that one the most, but this will probably turn out better, because I'm biased. I don't know what to tell you. Takane Louie, another character that I do not know, unfortunately, but I am recalling the announcements from last time, so it's nice that these are coming out pretty quickly. Hakui Koyori is another character I don't know, but this one is really cute. I love her hair. This is just adorable. And the little fox in her pocket. Oh my gosh. That's great. Sakamata Chloe, a character I do finally recognize once again. They really emphasized the chest on this one, which is always a little weird to me, but, you know, whatever. They gotta do that sometimes. Very cute, though. I really like her outfit. A shame that it's not colored, so we can't really appreciate this one like I would like to, but it's coming along nicely. Kazuma Iroha, another character I am just not familiar with. I apologize, but there's just so many now. Cute. I like her sword. Don't know anything else. Laplace Darkness is getting a scale figure as well. I think that's 4. She really did win the Hololive event. That's kind of incredible. I think there's 1 for each type of figure. This looks great. It's being made by Good Small Company. It's an adorable design. I like all these gigantic cuffs around her. I guess just entire character, and the fact that she just can't wear her sleeves is very cute on these petite characters. Gigantic horns, that's very fun. Face is adorable. I guess this is a tail. I don't really know, but it's interesting nonetheless. And then she's got a gigantic voluminous hair sculpt. I think this has a lot of potential. Not necessarily pulling me in just yet, but I guess when I see it painted, I'll be persuaded or not, because I like it enough. You know, just kind of fits the bill for things I like, but gotta have some restraint here. You know what I mean? Freeing announced a 1/4 scale of Bakura out of nowhere, which is very interesting. It does fit in line with what they make, considering she is a literal bunny girl, and her outfit is pretty reminiscent of a typical Freeing figure, with just a couple of extra steps, right? They did change her stockings to be fishnets from the looks of it. That's not normally what she's wearing, if I recall, like any artwork of her or her official model, but that's fine. It'll work well and look good on the figure, right? But this makes the second 1/4 scale of this character, and that kind of bums me out. It's great if you collect 1/4 scales, but I just want a 1/7 of her. I don't want something gigantic of her because she's not my favorite. I can't have Korone be overshadowed by Bakura in my collection. I just can't do it, so I'm not gonna buy this. That's actually the reasoning why I wouldn't buy this, and that's nuts, but it is what it is. But I think it looks cute so far, and at least this will be somewhat affordable than the one of her wearing a kimono, which is like 1,500 bucks or something. Absolutely crazy, but that's a topic for another time. We ain't talking about that. For some reason, this last one wasn't in the gallery, though it is a Hololive figure made by Max Factory, a scale figure, and one of the best of the events, at least from like WonHobby, or I guess just like the Hololive figures in general, and that is Max Factory's Chloe figure. Now this is adorable. I love this. I might be like in on this already. It's unfortunate that it's not painted, but her face looks amazing, and they made her very chesty. Just like the Nendoroid, I guess that's just something they want to do. Totally fine by me. Very nicely sculpted. But I like her outfit a lot. You know, you really get to appreciate the ripped leggings on the scale way more than the Nendoroid, right? She's sitting on a gigantic orca plushie, which is very cute. That's just part of her character design. If you didn't notice, her hood is also like an orca hoodie. So there's a little knowledge for you, I guess. That's not even that interesting, I'm sorry. But I like her outfit a lot. The black and the red, I think this figure is going to look so good when it's painted. Like, this already looks amazing. And Max Factory killed it on the Marine figure. They did so good on that figure, so I trust them. I think this is going to look breathtaking when it's done. And I don't think I'm going to be able to, like, not get this, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be a normal size figure, unlike Bakura. So, I might be in. Probably going to cost a lot, though. So, I won't confirm that, but I don't know, her like punkish rock outfit with like the cute orca hoodie, it's just a good look. It's just a really cute figure and a really cute character design that I feel like I need it. We're almost done with VTubers, but we got a couple more left. Kei-san from VShojo is getting a Nendoroid, which is a great choice right after Nyanners and Iron Mouse. I think she's gonna look great, and I like her quite a bit. So, gonna keep my eyes out on this one for sure. Amemiya Nazuna is getting a Nendoroid. Unfortunately, I am not very familiar with her, but VShojo is getting the love, so that's nice. It's not just Hololive. Niji-sanji is also getting a Nendoroid at WonHobby. This character's name is ridiculous. Let me try this. Hyakuman Tenbara Salome is getting a Nendoroid. Very cute design. Love the drills. There's a lot of drills behind her that you can't see, actually. And very nice star eyes. Very cute eyelashes as well. I like her design quite a bit, but I never want to say her name again. That might be the last VTuber, unless this Shoto guy is a VTuber. But it's Shoto from Shoto, and that's all I have. So I don't know who this is, but kind of looks like a VTuber, right? I think this might be the only Chainsaw Man announcement from like Good Small Company's gallery, which is a little unfortunate. Aki is getting a Figma. I wish I liked the Figmas a little bit more. Denji's is alright. Powers is a little bit better. I think because Aki's a bit more straightforward, his will be fine, but not really excited about this. But I guess they had to do it anyway, so nice announcement nonetheless. But we don't care about Chainsaw Man right now because we're getting Nendoroids for all of the characters from Bocchi the Rock. I don't know if they'll be as exciting as Bocchi's Nendoroid, but Nijika, Ryo, and Ikuyo all getting Nendoroids just makes sense, and I think a lot of people will want to complete the set. I think they all have a lot of potential, plus they're going to come with their instruments most likely, so that'll be a fun little setup, just like the K-On! Nendoroids, right? There's a lot of parallels there, but Bocchi the Rock clears. Damien from Spy Family got a painted prototype. I don't even know if there was an unpainted prototype phase. This might be the first time we're seeing this, and it looks okay. I think they do a bit of a disservice by not showing us other faceplates like ever with these announcements, because like we expect this, but it's not exciting. If they showed him being angry or flustered or embarrassed, that would just look a little bit more on model, on character, and probably get you more excited because, let's be real, likely not going to use this faceplate much. But that's just my opinion. Lloyd, Yor, and Anya are getting Nendoroid dolls, as well as a second version for Yor in her dress, her like normal, casual outfit she wears at home, which I like a lot. In fact, I like this outfit a little bit more than her assassination outfit. So I'm glad that they're making this. I kind of hope they make this for the Nendoroid. But I don't really collect dolls, so this is not for me, but nice nonetheless. Here we have a pop-up parade for Isagi Yoichi from Blue Lock. Very normal. You know, every time I see these characters, they're kind of looking batshit insane. So this is a bit odd to me as someone who hasn't seen the show yet, but I'm sure it's cool to some people, just don't really get it personally. We're getting Hello Good Smile versions of all the Jujutsu Kaisen characters, or the main four I should have said, but they're cute nonetheless. We're also getting Nendoroid surprise figures, which I'm pretty sure are the Blind Box series of figures, which just debuted with Haikyuu not too long ago. I think it's a good call to do JJK. I would have expected them to do Demon Slayer first, but not a bad choice whatsoever. I don't know if I really want to play the gacha game with like tiny little figures, but I do want to see which characters they're putting into the set at the very least. This Figma of Yuta looks so creepy. Like, why did they show it off like this? He's staring into my soul. It's so unnerving in a way that I don't think they wanted it to be, but there's your announcement. There's also a pop-up parade for the character, which looks fine. A little less unnerving, right? But there's also this, the Rika L pop-up parade, which is a great idea. I think the sculpt, specifically the paint job, actually looks great. Lots of like rough paint strokes on this figure. And because it's an L, it's gonna scale a little bit better. So you can place Yuta in front of it and then have Rika in the back, and it'll look properly nice on your shelf. A good idea. It's kind of like the Gurren Lagann one, but on a smaller scale. Hawks from My Hero Academia's Nendoroid is almost up for pre-order now that it's painted. I'm sure this guy will be going up within the next month or so, if I had to guess. Looks great. I've fallen off very hard with this series, so it's not really for me. I do think he has a good character design, though. I really like his red wings, his big bushy eyebrows, just kind of funny to me, and his hair looks really nice. There's also a pop-up parade. Similar features, of course, same character and whatnot. Don't know if anybody's made like a proper scale of him yet. I would assume Kotobukiya would do that at some point. Kind of surprising they didn't, but I'm sure that's like on the list of things to do. Kana-O from Demon Slayer is getting a Harmonia humming doll, and I don't like these. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hate. I don't want to persuade you not to buy these. I just think they're a little creepy. I'm sorry. I won't say it again. I'm sure these will come up, but it is what it is. Not for me. Seems like we're in the Demon Slayer section now. I don't know what could have given that away, but here we have Nendoroid Mitsuri. I don't know much about this character. I'm pretty sure she's playing a major role in the next arc, which I'm looking forward to. Love the anime. Don't read the manga though. Don't spoil me. But very cute. I'm sure this one will look great. And I would assume if we're getting a Nendoroid for Mitsuri, we would also be getting one for Muichiro as well. So I know even less about this guy, but I'll learn very soon, and maybe I'll like him. Also a Nendoroid for Akaza, which is kind of surprising they didn't make this yet. I don't like this guy. If you watch the movie, you would know why. kind of an asshole. Don't really like him that much. I get that he has to be made, but I ain't showing this guy no love. And that's all I'll say. Are they really making Rengoku's little brother into a Nendoroid? That's just kind of weird. Is he significant enough or popular enough to get a Nendoroid? Really feels like they're milking it a little bit with this one, but what do I know? I'm sure somebody wants this, right? Giyu is getting a Nendoroid doll. I normally don't have much to say about these. I think they look fine. They're just not for me. This one looks a little bit funny. There's just something about this head on this body that I'm not liking. Might be his dead eyes. I just feel like the figure's supposed to be cuter than it looks to me right now, but I'm not really sure. Rengoku proper is getting a Nendoroid doll, and he looks pretty good. I don't have the same complaints as I did with Giyu. I think he looks fine. A doll for Shinobu makes sense. I love her. I got her figure. Looks amazing. Hope this looks good as well. Tanjiro is also getting a doll. This one is the final selection version. I'm pretty sure he already has his normal outfit as a doll. I'm gonna say I like this outfit more. It's a bit of a shame that this outfit is pretty much like locked behind the first couple of episodes, the first major arc of the series, because I think it's a cool look. I like it quite a bit, but I guess you could relive it if you buy the doll, right? Papa Parade Reiner the Armored Titan version. Good idea. Like it. Unfortunately, not an XL, so it's a bit lacking. Dude also looks like he's made of wood, which I don't like. It looks like you would get a splinter touching this. You obviously won't. It's made of plastic, but I don't understand the roughness of this guy. I always assumed he was a bit shinier, like armor, considering he's an armored titan. Perhaps I'm wrong on that. I don't exactly pay attention to such details, but I know a lot of the anime, he looks very shiny. I don't like this execution. I think it looks a little weird, but what the hell do I know? Either way, looks like you could, you know, grate some cheese with this guy, but it's cool. It's still cool, but I wish it was big. If it was big, it would leave a bigger impression, obviously, but I don't know. Sasha's Nendoroid looks very cute. I like it. I really want to see her faceplates and her accessories, even though I doubt she'll come with that much, except for like the maneuver gear and a potato. They will give you a potato. Absolutely. You don't even have to question this. I'd be very shocked if they don't. But yeah, it looks good. Eren Yeager Survey Corps version. I think they're making a couple of these. Yeah, Mikasa and Armin. I think it's just like the addition of the cloak. They look very saturated as well. I don't know if these are new paint jobs or just different photos, but the faces and the hair look identical in terms of the sculpt, also the body. So I don't know if these are that new, but I guess we'll just wait and see what the hell these versions are. They're making additional faceplates for Attack on Titan. Like, that's fine. These look good. You can obviously get a lot of fun with these faceplates, but I feel like so many other series deserve this first before doing Shingeki. And yeah, I'm saying Shingeki. Attack on Titan's a stupid-ass name. So Shingeki getting this is weird to me, but they're all good faceplates. You're getting Armin, you're getting Eren, I guess this is Mikasa, and then you're getting Levi. So you're getting your spread there. There's other characters, but I guess these are the most important, so yeah, if you have these Nendoroids, I guess you could have even more fun now. Ruby had quite the presence at this event, actually. They had a lot of things to show off, like the Penny Polandina Papa Parade. They painted the Figma of Ruby and Wise, which are both looking really nice. They showed off the Harmonia Humming doll of Ruby as well, but most shockingly was 4-scale figures of the main cast, which is just kind of like shocking to see at the exact same time. Normally they do one, they kind of trickle them in, one gets finished, the others are on the way, but they're all here, so they're committing to every single one of them, I guess, and they look pretty good. A little bit simple in terms of their like bases and their poses. They're very reminiscent of a Kotobukiya figure, which is not a bad thing. I hope their prices reflect that and match something like Kotobukiya, just because they really do remind me of their work with the rock bases and whatnot. But they certainly do look like the characters, and I like Ruby's cape kind of fluttering in the wind. It looks really nice, but we'll have to wait more to learn about these 4. There's also this scale figure, the Ruby Rose Lucid Dream version, the one where she's on a snowboard and kind of like emerging from a bunch of thorns and flowers. It's actually a really nice setup, a gorgeous base. I kind of like it more than the other 4, if I'm being honest, if only because it feels a little bit more unique, and I kind of just like the winter getup that she's wearing. Just, yeah, really fun looking design overall. Even though this one, I guess is less like universal to the Ruby series and feels more like an arc or something. I have no idea what Ruby's about, but it certainly feels like this is part of the show, whereas the other figures would represent the entire series, right? This one's gorgeous, the Cheryl Gnome Anniversary Stage version. This looks amazing. It's so vibrant in its color scheme. I love her hair. It's so messy, but like naturally just kind of like flowing off because of, I guess, the way she's jumping forward, right? Many individual strands, which just makes for a better hair sculpt most of the time. I'm not really the biggest fan of this part just because it's so much translucent plastic. I like when they are thinking a little bit more reserved when it comes to that type of plastic, but that's just me. But I do like the, I don't know, the ribbon tassels here. I think that works better than the whole chunk of clear plastic down here. Shoes are very cute, like the socks. Cheryl Gnome's just like name down here is a little tacky, but it makes sense because of the stage play thing that's going on with this figure. I don't really have a problem with it, but if this was like any other kind of figure, I wouldn't like it. But I think it's better that it's raised up a little bit and is acting as the support for her knees, just because if it was on the bottom of the base, it would definitely feel more tacky, but in this way, they're incorporating it into the design and it's a bit more fun. Yeah, gorgeous. Looks really damn good. Man, I bet I'm gonna really like the Ronka Lee version though, because I already like the idea of these figures. The costumes just lend themselves to having a lot of fun things to look at. Lots of little intricacies, right? But I just like Ronka a little bit more. And I bet her green and yellow color scheme, if I had to guess, is gonna be very vibrant and eye-catching. I just think this figure is gonna really win me over when it's done. I also really like her big, poofy dress. The costumes are very similar in general, but I do like this dress. It's just very funny and also very cute. Look at the amount of detail on her dress right here. This figure is going to cost a lot of money. These flowers are already looking beautiful. I'm sure the rest of this dress is going to be very pretty as well, though my eyes are just drawn here. It just looks so nice here. Her face looks good too. I'm not the biggest fan of the way this figure is being held up by one metal rod up her butt, but what can you do? She's got to be floating in some way, I suppose, without making such a super extravagant base to up the cost and whatnot. Unfortunately, and I hate to do this because some people are going to get mad at me, I didn't like this movie very much. I like a lot of his other movies, but this one just didn't do it for me. I apologize, but it's a very gorgeous piece. Nendoroid Ladybug looks alright. Her hair shading's very good, but the outfit itself just looks like they painted over body parts, if that makes sense. Very uninspired, I suppose, but it is supposed to be a very tight suit, so I get what they're going for. I don't know anybody who watches this show. If you do, let me know. There's a scale figure of Elena, the early Summer Sky version. This character gets so many figures. I didn't even know that Good Smile Company was making one, but now I do. I think what differentiates this from all the other scales though is the outfit that she's wearing. She took off her robe and you get to see this really cute dress that she put on. Her face is also adorable. I really like this expression and this blush. Just great. I don't know. It's just a really pleasant, soft, easy to look at figure, right? I also like the color of this suitcase for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but I think it goes along well with the rest of her color palette. It's kind of a similar red to the lining inside of the robe actually, but I'm kind of just stretching here for reasons why I like something. Cute version of her, definitely. Not sure if it's her best, but it is a nice one if you want something fairly simple that I don't think will cost too much money, knowing Good Smile Company. Hopefully I'm right on that. Aw, Yotsuba's getting a new Nendoroid, the winter clothes version. This looks adorable. I don't know how you couldn't like this, right? It really does make me feel like I'm being a fool for not reading the manga, but I'll get around to it eventually. Zatch Bell. I should just buy this. I really should. I skipped out on the figure arts because I wasn't the biggest fan of the joints on that figure. A bit too ugly for my liking. I don't have a problem with joints. It was just because the figure was so small that all the joints were just like really close up to each other, and it was just kind of a mess in my opinion. But this guy's got none of them, so he looks really cute and pretty perfect in my opinion. However, we also know what the rest of his faceplates and accessories are, or at least most of them, because they were posted on Twitter. And I'll put that image on screen right now for you guys, so you can already determine if you want this or not, except for the price tag, I guess, but I can't imagine he'll be that expensive. I mean, he's in like a little dress, so there's like not that much to sculpt with this guy, unless he comes with like effect parts, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I like him quite a bit. Might be time to fuel the nostalgia tanks, right? And get this guy, but I guess we'll see when he goes up. I hate to do it, but I'm gonna speed through the next few until I find something to like land on and talk about a little bit more. Tomo Aizawa from Tomo-chan is a Girl is getting a Nendoroid. I like her design. Mahiru Shina from The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten is getting a Nendoroid. I like her warm colors, a very cute one. Nendoroid Ana Yamada from The Dangers in My Heart got announced. I don't know what this is, but looks interesting. Probably a romance of some sorts. There's a pop-up parade for Suzume Uwato from that movie with the talking chair. I don't know if that's out yet. I probably would have seen it by now if it was, so I'm just gonna guess it's not, at least out in the West. There's also Nendoroids for Suzume and Sota if you prefer that instead. Mujina from SSSS Dynazeon is getting a pop-up parade. These are the nicest thighs on a pop-up parade I've ever seen. Shikimori summer outfit version from Miyuki. Now this is a company that is pretty good. You know, I wouldn't say hesitate to buy their stuff, but they do kind of overcharge for what they put out. I will not be surprised if this costs like 24,000 yen for no reason, where like, you know, Good Smile Company will make a date style version of their characters and then only charge like 19,000. So I do expect it to be a little high, even though it's like nice and cute and dainty and whatnot. I wouldn't say don't buy this, I just say prepare your wallet, unfortunately. This is awesome. They're making a Nendoroid for Digikarat. If I said that right, I always feel a little stupid trying to pronounce these things sometimes, but I love this. I'm not sure if the new anime or whatever they're doing with this character in this series is any good, but I like the old stuff, and this does remind me of the old stuff. Maybe not exactly in terms of art style, but I'm happy that they're doing it. It's just a really fun retro style design, you know what I'm saying? Like from the earlier days of anime, right? Maybe like 90s or whatnot, but it still looks amazing. I really like this one, not joking. Alright, back to stuff I know nothing about. Revengers Usui Yuen is getting a Nendoroid, followed up by Rosen Maiden. I know that enough. Kira Kisho is getting a Nendoroid. I like her outfit. And there's also a Hina Ichigo, who's already done, already painted, looks very cute, so look forward to that. Papuko and Pipimi are getting a chibi figure of some kind. These two look extremely similar to the molding of the Nendoroid. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the exact same thing, honestly, but you buy them both together and you get this base of some kind with limited posability, if any. I don't really know like the appeal of this one. The base is so basic that you could probably just 3D print it yourself, honestly. But I guess if you missed out on the Nendoroids, you could get this instead. I'm sorry, I just don't really get it. It's just a little too simple, and they have a lot of merch anyway, so I don't really get why get excited for this one. Shogo from Psycho Pass, that's actually pretty cool. I don't think a Nendoroid is his best fit. Again, we're in that territory, but to celebrate the 10th anniversary, I think that's a pretty hype announcement. Just acknowledging like the first season in general is very cool, so I'm down with this. I like it. Mahiro Oyama from Onimai I'm Now Your Sister. Oh, this is that show with the girl in the bikini. I don't think I could show that GIF. I would probably get in trouble with YouTube. Maybe, I don't know. I guess I show worse, but I'll just play it cool. Yeah, I like the art style of that show for sure. I guess this is the main character and not the booba lady I'm thinking of, but you know, you gotta start somewhere, right? If this sells well, I'm sure they'll make the rest. Nichijou in 2023. I don't know what's happening, but I like it. We're getting manga versions of Hakase and Nano. I don't know if these are just re-releases, but it doesn't really matter. They're very old, a little hard to find. Just kind of makes me happy seeing these two. I hope they're different, but I guess I don't really care either way. I just like seeing these. No way, we're also getting Yuko, Mio, and Mai as Nendoroids. That's crazy. We won. The Nichijou fans won. We finally did it. I don't know what we did, but we did it. I love Mio. I love her nasally ass voice. She is so cute. I need to see these ASAP. Better be here by next WonFes. I need to see these. I am very happy. I like this announcement a lot. Sylphie from Mushoku Tensei is getting a Nendoroid, a good choice. I don't know if she has any scales, but I don't remember her having too much of a presence outside of the earlier episodes of the anime, so that would make sense, but I guess I'm not remembering the whole show at the moment, so maybe I'm forgetting something right now, but I like seeing her, so that's cool. Marin is getting 2 Nendoroid dolls, which makes a lot of sense. My dress up darling, dress up your dolls, right? Where are the scales though? We have so many announcements, but only Aniplex is putting out new figures. I feel like we're waiting a really long time just for prototypes. I don't think it should be that hard to make a figure of Marin, but I guess what do I know? I'm gonna buy one. Just waiting. Just waiting. Here's a pop-up parade, but even this doesn't have a prototype. This one's being made by Good Smile Arts Shanghai. So you got your budget option, but we really only have Aniplex options right now, so let's speed things up, please. Chisato Nishikigi is up next from Licorice or Licorice Recoil from Good Smile Company, a nice scale figure, fairly simple, though I do think the shading on her uniform and her hair looks really good. I don't think this figure would cost too much, and honestly, these characters are getting so many scales, which we'll see in the next video. A lot of companies announced figures for these two, but this one's nice. It's, you know, their typical attire and look, so it might be the one that you want to buy. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it's lively enough. There's a convincing amount of creasing in the fabric, and her face looks really cute. Her pose is nice as she's kind of running towards her objective and whatnot. Nothing to complain about. If this was 18,000 yen, I would be very happy. And right behind her was the Takane Inoue figure as well. Just the prototype. Looks very similar. They're both in their uniforms. Nothing too extravagant about this one. She looks a little bit more serious, of course, but it's nice. I mean, you gotta have the character representation in the uniforms, even if they're not doing anything crazy with the bases. And Good Smile Company being the ones behind that, I think is a good thing. They're usually pretty spot on with their scales when they don't go too crazy. You don't have too much to worry about. And they've been doing pretty good at keeping the prices fairly affordable, so I don't think there's anything to really worry about with these two. If you like them so far, I think the art style of the faces is on point, so I think they're winners. They're just not anything too crazy, but not every figure needs to be. There was also a Kurumi Nendoroid announced, and I hope they actually managed to get the oversized hoodie aspect into the Nendoroid. It would work very well as a scale, but when you have to convert it down to such a small size, I don't know if they'll even bother, and they'll just make a normal size hoodie for her. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Knights of Sidonia Pop-Up Parade Tsumugi Shiraui Large. This is a rather unique one. It's pretty gritty, a little dark, a little rough. There's barnacles or something growing on this character. Probably not, but that's what it looks like to me. And the paint job is really nice. There's a nice mix of white, pink, and red throughout the figure. And it just seems like they're going to have to really bring their A game to bring this one to life, so to speak. But I think they've proven that, at least with Guts. I believe that was Max Factory, though, and this is Good Smile Company, so maybe not the same team working on this figure. But I don't think they would try this unless they had a good plan to make it look, close to the prototype. At least that's what I'm hoping. But it would be a shame if they didn't make this look anything like the photos in the final product. I think it looks sick, though. Even though it's a little gross, that's kind of the point. It definitely stands out among the crowd, and I hope they do a good job with it. Komeko is getting a Nendoroid from Konosuba. That's kind of surprising. I don't know if this was announced previously. Not my first pick. I probably would have preferred Wiz or something, but it's nice nonetheless. Megumin is getting a bunny version Pop-Up Parade Large. Now, this character already has a freeing figure, obviously, though it's not the same pose, nor is it the same outfit. So this figure is already unique enough. I gotta say, I like this outfit and style a little bit more. I think her face looks a little cuter, a bit more expressive, and the pose is more, I don't know, chunibyo, if I had to use a word to describe it. It just feels a little bit more in character for her. Now, I couldn't tell you if the quality is gonna be as good, but it's not like Freeing is known for their beautiful sculpts, so this might not be a bad option, and it'll only cost 80 bucks. I think this has enough promise. You shouldn't just brush it under the rug just because it's not a 1/4 scale. That's my opinion, though. Might not be yours. And Aqua as well is getting the same thing. They're changing her face, they're changing the pose, I like how she's crossing her arms, and of course they're changing her suit, which I think is the most important part. You do want a little bit of variety when it comes to these bunny figures, at least that's the way I see it. A lot of people complain about that anyway, how the bunny figures all kind of look the same and they don't try hard enough, so I think while this isn't freeing and it's not a 1/4 scale, you are kind of getting what you're asking for. So I say give them a shot. These might not be fishnets. In fact, it really doesn't look like they will be. They'll be typical black tights of some kind, but at least they end right here before they get to the suit itself, so you get a little bit of thigh fan service as well. I think they'll look good. At least I think they'll look pretty good. Maybe not beautiful or anything, but I think they got potential. And if you like darkness, she is also getting a figure in this style as well. Laid Back Camp Harmonia Humming Nadeshko, as well as Rin. I don't have a comment for this. You know why. There's also the Rin and Nadeshiko school uniform Nendoroids, which I think, I don't know, their Nendoroids are a little overplayed at this point. I feel like we should get something else, but that's just me. They still look cute though, because they always look cute as Nendoroids. Kaguya-sama Love is War, Nendoroids for Miko, you, and I. And the best part about this, besides the fact that they're just making these characters into Nendoroids in general, is that these aren't seemingly being made by Toy Tech like the others. A lot of people have problems with Toy Tech, myself included. I don't think they're a very good company, and often have a lot of problems, but it seems like these two are in good hands because Good Smile Company took the wheel, so to speak. A whole bunch of Nendoroids for Kaiju number 8. This series does not have an anime yet. It's only a manga so far, and I have not read it. But, I mean, you can see the spread right here. We're getting a bunch of characters in the near future, but, you know, can't even see what they look like yet, so I guess we'll move on. Saichi Sugimoto from Golden Kamui. This took so long to happen, but he looks good so far. I got no complaints. Nagatoro is another character that is just like, how did this not happen yet? I mean, the anime isn't that old, but you think they would have cashed in on that immediately. It's not like the hype went down, and this little gremlin still looks very good so far, so I think people will still want it when it's out, but it's just weird sometimes how they decide to make certain figures over others. Nendoroid Phantom Thief Jean. I have never heard of this series, but it looks very 90s, so I already like it just for that. I hope it turns out cute. Good Smile Company is making another Rei Ayanami scale already. This one is the Red Rouge version. Very similar design to something from like the quintuplet date style figures, right? She's wearing this really trendy, fashionable outfit. Looks great on her. Shading on the hair looks nice. Face looks good, but I can't tell if this is lipstick or her mouth is open. And the fact that I just don't know that is bugging me. It does actually matter to me, but right now, since I can't tell, I'm just gonna move on. The figure is very lovely. I do like the way they sculpted this one. Boots are cute too. I like these boots. And the base is pretty simple, not distracting, kind of goes along with their colors as well. But yeah, just kind of surprising that they're making this already when the other figure has only been up for pre-order for like 2 months now, the one with the long hair. But I guess you can't have enough Rei or Asuka, but there's no Asuka at this event, so I guess you can technically have too much if they don't want to do it. But they should do it. Anyway, that's a tangent. Moving on to the next figure. I'm a little jealous on this one. Good Smile Company is making a Shauna scale, and I don't want to take anything away from this figure. It's actually rather pretty. I think her wings look excellent, at least up here. I think as you go down the wings, they kind of start to lose a little bit of their feather detail, but that might just be in the prototype. I do like the way her hair is kind of swooping around her too, just looks a little dynamic. These rings kind of bother me though. They look very thin, and if they're the support for her legs, I don't know if I would trust that. There is a cone back here, but they're here to support the rings, so I don't really know if I like the stability of this figure so far. But we'll see. We don't know exactly how this one is going to turn out. Spitting image of the character too. She looks great. But I'm jealous because Good Smile Company has like never made a Taiga figure, and I know they're not the same series, but they passed that shit on to Chara Ani. And that's not fair. I don't like that company that much. I want Good Smile Company to do it, or Max Factory. I'm being a little baby though. This figure looks excellent. Besides the rings, which might be bad, but probably not. But you know what? They could be because they messed up the Reimu. I'm still bitter about that. So I ain't believing in this just yet. Everything else looks excellent though. I really do like it. Even like the way her shirt is all wrinkled up down here in her skirt. It just all looks excellent. So really pretty, really nice, really surprising that she's getting a figure like this. And yeah, cool for the Shauna fans that won, but I want my tsundere, okay? Oh, they actually did it. They made the Uzumaki Nendoroid in grayscale. I mean, some people might think that's lazy, but I think it actually takes more effort to make this look convincing. So, pretty perfect. I wonder if this will come out before the show, because man, that feels like it's never gonna come out, just keeps getting delayed. But if they're making this, that does make it a little bit more promising that the anime is coming pretty soon, maybe? I sure hope so. Accrued from Tsukihime got her Figma shown off. It looks just like her, but it is a little basic, and there's not any accessories to talk about, so next. Bro, look at the size of this fucking weapon. This thing is massive. She's supposed to be 1/7, 1/8 scale, I'm pretty sure, but this sword is ginormous. It kind of looks like wings on the back, which is kind of cool, actually. But this is Seal, the 7th Scripture, 3rd Cause of Death, Blood Loss Blade from Tsukihime. Very cool. I do want to respect it. I do want to say that Like, yeah, just because I can't fit this on a shelf in my house doesn't mean it shouldn't exist, but realistically, how many people are gonna buy this, and how many people are going to want to pay the shipping for this thing? Unless it comes in pieces, which it might, because these parts might be segmented right here and here and here. You know, shipping's gonna be a lot for this thing, depending on how they package it. But she looks cool. You really can't see the facial features or anything really on the outfit. It's just showing you the scope of this one, and warning you that, hey, if you buy this, you can fit like 3 characters underneath and have no problem because it's just that wide. But it's nice. Nice is kind of an understatement. This thing's sick, but man, it's just kind of caught me off guard. This is crazy. If you want something more normal, there's the Akihatono Nendoroid from Tsukihime. She's cute. She's only going to be like 4 inches. Very manageable. Nazuna from Call of the Night. I do like her quite a bit. I wish she would get more scales. I don't know what other companies are doing. They're slacking, besides Kotobukiya, so thanks to them for making one. But this is Good Smile Art Shanghai. I don't like their Nendoroids. I like their scales, but so far their Nendoroids aren't really that good, if you ask me. This does look just like her though, and she comes with a little soda or whatever was drank in episode 1, I think. But yeah, definitely a good start so far. And I hope they get the hair color the same as the show, because that's what I'm familiar with. That was the one thing about the Kotobukiya figure I wasn't the biggest fan of, the hair color. Everything else looked great, but I just didn't get it as an anime-only watcher. How did it take this long to make Snoopy? That just feels like a no-brainer over there. Japan loves Snoopy. I mean, who doesn't? I love Snoopy. He's so cute. But, like, it's just kind of shocking that it's only now happening. He better come with Woodstock. I don't know if they would give him his doghouse or, like, the Red Baron stuff. I guess there's a lot of options to take with Snoopy, but we'll see. And I wonder if we'll get other Peanuts characters. That would be very cute. I wouldn't buy them, but I would like to see them just for the hell of it. Barbie's Nendoroid was shown off. I do remember this from last time. Her face looks alright. A little generic, but she's got the eyeliner to help her out. Barbie's definitely got a very unique face, but I think translating that like perfectly into a Nendoroid would be very difficult. So I'm not really going to stress that too much. It looks fine. Dress looks nice. I should tell my mother about this. She used to actually collect Barbie. I don't know if she would really care anymore, but it might make her nostalgic to see. Oh, they painted the Mikey figure from last time. This had a lot of potential, and it seems to be living up to the hype. Look at these abs. They are so chiseled. Really nice definition on his chest right there. I don't think I noticed last time that his zipper was down, but I get it, considering the demographic of this series these days, and the figure, and the company. I get it. So that's a bonus for you guys. Really nice colors on this figure, honestly. The gold looks spectacular. I like the fact that they kept his hair white. It makes sense, of course, but it definitely works better that it's white here instead of the typical blonde. I don't know if that's part of the show or if that's just for the illustration, but I do feel like it kind of just contrasts really beautifully with the rest of the color palette, right? Kind of matches his underwear, if that is his underwear, but yeah, whatever. It's really good. And the red looks so striking. I love this shade of red and the gold all throughout the patterns. It all just looks really good. And yeah, I'm pretty surprised at this one. There's like nothing bad about it so far. It's just a matter of if Orange Rouge delivers on this prototype. Ken also got his prototype, the Volume 25 version. This is pretty similar, but the key note here is that I feel like the patterns on his outfit are actually raised a little bit. They feel like they're actually a texture rather than being printed on or just painted on flatly. I wonder if that'll be the case when this figure is done, because if that is the case, I think this will look better. I think his outfit will be that much nicer to look at, but we can't tell yet. It certainly looks that way. It certainly looks like there's a bit of depth to the outfit itself, but you know, things can change, and it is just a prototype at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see. I hope they get rid of the seam line right by the crotch, though, because that's kind of a no-no if that's there. That'll look really distracting if they don't change that. Tokyo Revengers baby characters. Yeah, I don't know, self-explanatory. I don't need to go further into this one. Unpainted Nendoroid prototype for Inupi. There is a Nendoroid for Coco. Very fierce, like his fangs. There's also a doll for Chifuyu. Of course, seems like a very popular character. I was gonna say this character looks like he's from 30 years ago or something, but that's only the 90s, and I got really depressed. More so that I was right that this is a 90s character, and I like that it's like a 90s ninja boy, but I'm depressed now. So I think I should just move on before I depress myself any further. Italia World got a bunch of stuff. There was Canada's Nendoroid, they had Austria announced, there was also Spain who got his prototype, there was also the pop-up parade for K from Haikyuu. Surprised that didn't happen sooner, but looks pretty good. This series could use some normal figures instead of just Nendoroids. Fate Grand Order's Pretender / Oberon. This guy looks smug. I think he's up to no good. I like the art style because pretty sure it's the March Comes In Like a Lion artist, so I just like it. But I don't know anything about this guy. I think someone told me in the past he was a big deal though, so this is probably exciting, but I don't know. Here we have Heaven Official's Blessing Hua Sheng from Good Small Arts Shanghai. A pretty familiar character design. They make a lot of figures that look like this. Very pretty gentleman, looking very elegant. And this one is no different. He's stepping on a skull. He's showing his dominance in such a way. And there's a lot of like hair and cloth just draping all over the throne. Very nice. There's this really interesting effect piece. I like the swirl or the whoosh of it. And there's a gigantic butterfly on top. But I can't help but think it would look better for this figure if there was just a bunch of butterflies rather than the one. It might be a very pretty butterfly, but I just think it would leave a better presence if there was a bunch of them scattering all around him. But that's just me. I just feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity, but the paint might change my mind. So right now, looks pretty good so far. Like a lot of their other figures, I bet this is going to be gorgeous when it's done, but I do want to see how they do this effect piece and the butterflies specifically. Hatsune Miku Symphony 2022 version. This is a bit of a follow-up to the previous figure. Not that they're exactly alike, but they're part of the same series, so to speak. I'm not sure if this one can live up to, I guess, like my love of the original. I really should have pre-ordered it. I think that figure is very special, and it has a bit of like gracefulness that I feel like is missing from this piece. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's her expression. Just something really lovely about that other one's face that, I don't know, this one looks a little bit more basic, more traditional. However, her hair looks phenomenal, in the shape of a heart, curling as it goes down. It's beautiful. And the ribbon is doing a bit more than I was expecting when we saw the original piece of art. It's actually extending quite a bit to the bottom of the base, and there's just a lot of like trim and decoration and all that stuff that's keeping her up in the air. I think we are not really getting to see the full picture here without the paint. That's always the case with a lot of these figures, but considering how like important the gold is going to be on this figure, right, mixing in with like the aqua blues and greens of Miku's traditional design, and however else they're going to paint her outfit, which we can see is semi-translucent up here, and then you get to see like the rest of her skirt and top underneath it. We just don't really know, and unfortunately that does hold back my excitement a little bit. Whatever the case, definitely want to see more, but I'll hold my judgment. I still think it'll be very good though. Racing Miku 2021 private version. I've always liked the concept of this figure, the nice sundress and hat that she's wearing, the cute shoes, the briefcase, though I'm not really the biggest fan of the logo. Kind of just brands the figure a little bit when it doesn't really need to be. At the very least, I wish it was in the back so you didn't have to see it most of the time. Hair gradients are also really nice. I think there's something a little basic about it, but I do think the transition from the darker green and blue to the lighter green just looks really nice. Kind of like that sea foam green, which would make sense around the beach area where she's likely taking a vacation. I hope it's in the range of affordability because it does look pretty simple to me, but sometimes these racing figures are a little bit more pricier than I would expect, so not really sure. Definitely a cute one though. Really do like this outfit on her. It's adorable, but we'll have to wait and see on the price. Racing Miku 2023 Nendoroid, a design made by Tori Domino, otherwise known as the Ryza guy, and you can totally see it right in the face. It looks exactly like her, even having the braid from the second game. A very cute design. I love it, but I don't see a reason to get this for me, personally, because they're making a scale of this design. A slightly thick Miku is a very appealing concept. So I'm going to keep my eyes out on this one. And as a bonus, you might also get these little birds that are holding flags, which would be very cute. I hope they're part of the figure. It might be a little pricey, knowing Good Smile Racing, but the thighs, they pull you in. They're going to make you want it. I think this one will make a pretty big splash when it comes out, just because people are going to be a little horny about it. But, you know, it's all good. It's why we collect. Sometimes, or most of the time. It depends on how you collect, but I think this one's exciting. We're still not done with Miku. We have the Classroom Sakai Nendoroid, as well as the Street Sakai Nendoroid. I really like this one because of the way her hair is tied up, and the hoodie with the dress is very cute. This one's got a gigantic hairpin, though, and I like that. Her messy twin tails are also pretty fun to me. A nice sculpt. This one doesn't really look like Miku to me, though. This one, I am convinced is Miku, but I'm sure the colors will definitely change my opinion on that. But then again, the other Sakai figure, I think, didn't look like Miku that much either, so I guess we'll see. We'll see soon. Hatsune Miku NT Style Casual Wear version. This one is very pretty. I really like how full her twin tails are on this sculpt. Really dig the way they did her hair here. Bet that's going to be beautiful when it's done. It's a simple outfit. As always, a bit of a hater of translucent plastic if they're going to use this much for the dress. I do like the creasing, I do like the frills, I think it'll look fine, but personal taste and whatnot. Boots are really cute. Honestly, just a really great outfit, and her face looks adorable. Very cutesy pose too with her hands. So, a lot to like here. I hope it's another affordable one. You never know. It's a lot of plastic for that hair, but the world could definitely use more affordable Mikus these days because a lot of them are going very big and bold and expensive, so I hope this is reasonable. Hatsune Miku Blue Archives version. This one is a little unique because of this gigantic cylinder thingy that she's holding on to. I don't know what it is, so forgive me for that. But she's got a really cute face. It's very infectious how joyful her expression is. And I like her outfit. I actually found a picture of the color palette, and I really do like it. The light blue is a nice choice here to match along with the darker blue of the dress and the little ribbon on her heels. I think that's just a great color scheme that's going to look really nice when Max Factory applies their paint and their shading. I guess this thing is like a music player of some kind. I hope this doesn't look like a decal sticker when it's done, but it might. Can forgive it if it doesn't look that bad, so not going to really worry about that. This part right here, I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to be. It's not tying up her hair. I think it's supposed to be like sound waves or something, but I might be wrong. It kind of just looks like Tetris pieces, if I'm being honest, but when you look at the figure, it almost looks more like a little crown, and that's just because they can't really place them all individually and have them floating around the figure, right? So hopefully that looks good when it's done, likely a translucent piece of plastic of some kind, but yeah, not one that I think will be super popular, but might still be a very cute design nonetheless. Karen from Blue Archive. Unfortunate name aside, her face looks amazing. I love how fierce her eyes are. Really sells the character design, right? She's also carrying this gigantic rifle, which is another notable feature. Her hair looks amazing. It looks like the back of it is painted in a light purple of sorts, and then like the front part, or I guess, you know, the back of her head is more of a black. Just a nice mix of colors there. Maid costume, not too interesting if I'm being honest, but I know this character is very popular. I like her quite a bit as well. And I think they handled the colors of the halo really well. I like how this piece looks a lot. So just an overall really nice piece. Nothing super dynamic or noteworthy in terms of like outfit detailing, but it's a great character design, and I think it's going to go a long way in selling to a lot of people. Yeah, we're also getting an Akane Murakasa Bunny Girl scale as well from Blue Archive. A white on white bunny suit with a plaid shirt just thrown on top. Very interesting. And her yams are pretty massive. Plus she's got these nice glasses. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yuka is getting a Nendoroid from Blue Archive, as well as a Fumi, and we also got an update on the Shiroku Nendoroid. She looks very cute. On top of that, though, they also announced a Mashiro Shizuyama swimsuit version from Freeing, a 1/4 scale, and it looks alright. I don't think there's anything that special about this figure. It really comes down to the paint job because I like the swimsuit, I like the pullover hoodie, both are cute, right? The halo looks fine. It has some nice dark gradients towards the tips of the halo, but I kind of like how they did it with Karin a little bit more. But it just looks a little drab, a little uninteresting. The way her, I don't know, legs are kind of welded together is a bit gross, so I think that could use some improvement. But it's not that bad. At least they painted her fingernails and her toenails, and they gave her a popsicle. If this isn't that expensive, it would be fine, but I just feel like there's a little bit lacking in the shading and just like the paint overall to really I don't know, get too excited or like this one too much. Black Rock Shooter Fragment Alishka. I think this is just another version of, like, you know, the main Black Rock character. It looks pretty good. I like it more than the Dawnfall version, that's for sure. But getting a little tired of all these Nendoroids of Black Rock. Just, I don't know, the overabundance of them is fatiguing me a little bit. Azurlane's Cheshire, a character design I think is really cute. Unfortunately, it's a Shanghai Nendoroid, and I don't like the Azurlane ones specifically. I think a lot of them have not turned out very well. So I can't get hyped for this, but I do like this character. I just wish somebody else was handling it. Soda Tail, once again, this was like one of my favorite figures last time, but it just didn't go up for pre-order. It was done. It looked done. I think this photo looks a little bit lighter, so maybe they changed the color palette of this figure, but not by that much if they did. Still an amazing tummy though. Love her legs. I gotta say the MP3 player kind of sucks. I don't think I pointed that out last time. I was being very positive because I do like most of this figure. It's very attractive to me, but this still does look very cheap. I hope this goes up kind of soon, and I hope it doesn't cost a lot of money, but I don't really want to say the exact same things I said last time because they didn't change anything about it. It's still a very nice looking piece that will likely cost around 30,000 yen, knowing the company, but I guess we'll see. This one though did get an update, and I actually really liked it last time, and I like it more now. I loved her distraught, embarrassed expression, which you can't really see here. I did find an image of it, but the colors are a little dark, but you could see her like wriggly mouth. I just think it's adorable. And yeah, this figure is a bit of a wardrobe malfunction, right? Sandals off. The bottom of her bikini is just coming off completely. The hoodie, the sweatshirt, right? That's coming off and kind of being ripped up. It's very cute. The way her hair is tied up looks great as well. I didn't even notice she had like a bunny ear clip over here. That's just great. This figure doesn't even need the gun. I wish it wasn't even there, honestly. It adds nothing to me, and is just gonna jack up the price for what is otherwise just like a cute wardrobe malfunction figure to me. And then you get the gimmick of the starfish on her butt. Yeah, I think it's just the colors of this figure too. Her like really fair skin against the light blue hoodie just looks really good to me. And her blonde hair looks amazing. The shading on her hair is actually really good in this one image. Yeah, I guess her feet are cute too. Don't hate me, it's prominently on display. I have to comment on it. Either way, I think this one's a nice one. Little lewd. I mean, very lewd. Will I buy it? I don't really buy Girls Frontline, but I definitely appreciate it. It's weird how this one and this one are probably some of my favorite figures at this event, and I don't play Girls Frontline. I don't collect anything from Girls Frontline, but I guess just because they're scales that are colored, they stand out a bit more to me, which makes sense. That's kind of what we're here for, right? Well, that's what I'm here for at the very least. Mihono Bourbon, the Chestnut Cyborg. I love this Gundam pose this figure is in. I'm pretty sure that's where the inspiration is coming from, or just giant mechs and robots in general, but it really does seem to be the case to me. There's not that much going on in terms of her outfit to really, you know, hit that cyborg design aesthetic and whatnot, but there's a little bit with the skirt pieces. The shoes definitely have a lot going on, and I guess the sleeves a little bit, but I think the most interesting part of this figure really is the base, the background elements. I'm not really sure what these energy circles are supposed to be, but they're definitely neat. There's a whole lot of depth to this base, which is very cool. It does make it feel like she's coming at you in a sense. Especially the background piece right here. I just love this perspective trick they're doing, or it might not even really be a perspective trick. It might actually be that deep into the figure. But I guess we'll need some extra photos to find that out. Good face, good hair, nice figure, nice pose. I like a lot about it. Very different from all the other Uma Musume figures, so it's also unique in that aspect. This figure is really cute. I wasn't planning to get any more Uma Musume scales after Die with Scarlet, but I might break that. I don't know, dude. This is really precious to me. There's just something about this. I don't know what it is, but whenever a figure is doing this, I just really like it. Taiga's bunny has it, the Korone scale has it, this Rice figure has it, and I like it all the time. It's just like a little fierce. They're trying to be all tough. It's just adorable. There's also the whole Halloween aesthetic to this figure, which is always a plus, right? And her ears are droopy. I love that her ears are droopy. It's just like slightly so, but it just makes it that much more cuter. This is a horse vampire. That's weird, but I like weird. and I like vampires, and I like horse girls, apparently. Yeah, I'm gonna add this one to the wish list. I wasn't planning to, but looking over this one image, I've been won over. So, you know, probably be a little expensive, but maybe. I really want it, but we'll see on the price. Oguri Cap got her Nendoroid painted, looks pretty good, just not really a horse girl I particularly like. There's also a Rice Shower Nendoroid, who I do like, but after seeing that other scale, this just looks a little bit basic now, which is fine. I mean, it's only gonna cost like 50 bucks anyway, and it's still cute. I like her design, so it's still cute. Twin Turbo, the Splatoon 2 horse girl, was finally painted, and if you recall, I like this design quite a bit. One of my favorite characters, actually. It's really the shark teeth and the crazy eyes, but her unnatural blue hair is just kind of fun too. The gradient on this figure is alright. I think it could have been done a little bit nicer, but it's fine. She's also got those funny rocket shoes, and I like how comfy the pink cushion inside of them looks. The base is also pretty sick. It's very, The World Ends With You, something like that along those lines. And I'm not sure if the pieces in the back are supposed to be like projectors, or if they're like physically there, but the angular, sharp design definitely matches with her like confident vibe. I really do like this, but nowadays I'm a bit of like a Phat Company non-believer because they just keep delaying their stuff, so I'm probably not gonna pick this one up, but I do hope it turns out good. Max Factory revealed their prototype for the Pop-Up Parade Joan of Arc, which would normally be a good thing for the budget option, but I feel like the lack of a weapon whatsoever is very strange on this character. Feels a little bit too bare for me to really recommend getting this, unless you really just can't afford any other figure of her. This one could turn out to be pretty cool. Oda Nobunaga from Fate Grand Order by Good Smile Company. Now, we only got the announcement. I don't really want to speculate on this one too much because I think it's in good hands, but I have no idea of what direction they're going to take based off this image, unless they do a one-to-one, which would still be fine, but I guess I'll just wait. I just want to see how this turns out before speculating. Berserker / Morgan got her prototype, looks pretty good, nice and detailed outfit, pretty poofy on the dress, spear looks cool, I like this one. There was also a Nendoroid for Melusine, if I said that correctly, apologies if I didn't. Very fierce looking face on this Nendoroid, I like it quite a bit, her hair looks lovely so far, and the swords attached to her arms is a pretty cool look. I think those are swords, hopefully I'm not wrong on that. I tried to look it up, so I wouldn't look stupid. But I probably look stupid throughout this entire video, so, nice. Good Smile Company is still trying to keep Concolia alive. I respect it. They're making a Nendoroid for Yahagi, and I think there's also a painted prototype of Yukikaze, who I believe we saw last time. A very cute character, if I must say. She looks great. I do wonder how many people are buying these days, but that ain't for me to decide, and if you like this, go for it. Liu Meng Li is just gorgeous. The dress fabric looks stellar, the clear veil wrapping around her shoulders in such a smooth, gentle way, the whole aspect of the heart being played delicately by her fingertips, and that slight showing of her legs just to make her look a bit more unobtainable, like something so beautiful that it's out of your reach no matter what. Maybe this is just me, but I would like to see a faceplate with her eyes closed. In my head, I think she would look even prettier as she strums the strings, but what we have now is still very good. Luminous Box announced a scale figure for Bing Li from the Heaven and Earth Tribulation series. I wish I knew what this was, because this character design is very pretty, and I like the sword that she's holding onto. It looks like it's made of crystal, but I'll have to wait and see what they do with it. These are pretty deep into the gallery. Pop-Up Parades for Chocola and Vanilla from Nekopara. I'm sure you're very familiar with these characters. They look pretty nice for $40 figures. I don't know if the demographic of people who buy Nekopara figures are interested in getting cheaper options, because it seems like they'll spend whatever on these girls, you know what I'm saying? But they look pretty nice. I like the colors of their dresses quite a bit, and both of their faces are pretty cute. If not, you know, very similar to other figures of them that we've seen before, so that's a good thing, but it's also not that interesting at the same time, if that makes sense. But, solid. Definitely solid. Fig MacGyver 2.0. I love this guy's design and the fact that he's got his tits out, but, like, where is this? I think we saw this at last WonFes, unless that was a different figure altogether from Max Factory, but it's definitely been done, unless they're just not happy with the way their prototype looks so far, and they're just trying to like really tune it to perfection, which I do respect, but kind of tired of them just showing this all the time, considering it's been painted. But whatever. Looks nice still. Looks nice again. I want to see how much it costs. Strawberry Shortcake Bustier. I don't know where this design came from, but I feel like I need more of it. The lingerie with fruit theming is such a good idea, and you can already tell the design of her outfit is really good with all the little beads or pearls to remind you of the strawberries. The way her hair is sculpted is amazing. I love the curls, and her eyes are really pretty. I just really like her eyelashes. I'm not sure why this girl has a rotary phone, but the idea that this girl is from like the 1950s kind of makes me like this figure even more. I hope that not only this is a good figure, but this isn't a one-off, like we get to see more fruit lingerie figures in the future, because I really like this idea. And then to wrap it up, there was a couple of really quick announcements. A Workaholic scale figure from Good Smile Art Shanghai, pretty sick design, I like her Oni horns and the sword. There was a Shion figure, an original character. She's got a womb tattoo. So nice, like it. Luminous Box is making a scale figure of the Invisible Bunny-chan. I like how she's in a gigantic martini glass, and the cherry in her mouth is gigantic. Maybe the most unique figure at this event, Luminous Box is making scale figures for White Cat and Black Cat. If I said earlier that Barbie might have been for my mother, I think these two would be even better for her. And I think this might be the last one. Luminous Box is making a scale figure of Ishimi Yokoyama in a white bunny suit. And she looks like she doesn't really want to be wearing it, and I kind of like that. So that's the gallery, but I do want to do one more figure in case I need an extra figure for the thumbnail. Honestly, that's why I'm doing this. Give me a second to find it. Here we have the Altria Pendragon bunny figure from Freeing, a 1/4 scale, of course, and a figure that was at WonFes, not WonHobby. They did have a presence at WonHobby, but they were much more in attendance at WonFes. Now, I think this looks great overall, but there is one thing that I don't like about this figure, and that's the leggings. While the blue is a really nice color, the fishnets are just kind of a decal, and I think that's really disappointing. I think they should go back and consider doing fishnets, like legit fishnets for this figure, or just something else. I know it really does match the arts, but it just doesn't feel as premium this way, and I don't know if I really like it, considering they're gonna ask a lot of money for this figure. Everything else does look really good though. The suit itself up here looks phenomenal. I think the gold looks stellar, and her face looks good too. Very stern. She's got some cards in her hand. I believe she's like a poker bunny of sorts, right? Forgive me for not knowing the lore and whatnot. But yeah, it's a good sculpt, some nice colors for sure. I don't like that they went with her cannon thickness, considering that Freeing is pretty, you know, used to changing proportions on characters. I say make her a little thicker. Not gonna hurt nobody, just don't go overboard. But, I mean, they're sticking with the character design, so that is objectively correct and better to do. But it's not to my liking. But with that, we are done talking about WonHobby36. What a gigantic event. I can't believe they showed off this many announcements. And it really was a lot of pop-up parades and a lot of Nendoroids. But we did get some nice scales along the way, so I do thank them for that. Now, I did skip a couple things, of course. I couldn't go over everything, so I'm going to link this gallery in the description down below if you want to check it out for yourself. If you've yet to, you probably have, but just in case. Next time at WonFes, it's going to be nothing but scale figures, of course, so stay tuned to that if you're more interested in scales, of course. I think it'll be a pretty good video, but as always, thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. If you want to support the channel, subscribe and like the video, leave me a comment, maybe shop at one of my affiliate links, whatever you do. Even if you just watch this video, I do appreciate it. So until next time, I'll see you later, and I guess that's it. Take care.